into some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
This is my boomstick. Here's Johnny.
I have to return some videotapes.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Hello and welcome to another episode of All Things Horror. My name is Ben and I'm joined here with Matt. Today,
Sorry. Sorry.
Today we're going to continue our journey through the Halloween franchise, picking up with Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers from 1988. We'll have a brief spoiler-free chat before hitting a spoiler warning to discuss the plot in more detail. And then we'll give our personal rating from 1 to 10. Then we'll end the podcast with a nice, easy horror game for Matt.
I hope so.
So this film is directed by Dwight H. Little, who I've never really heard of. You heard of him, Matt?
All I know is that he had a little bit of a renaissance recently. He's most famous for this. But he had a little renaissance recently where he's produced a few things, but the last thing he directed was a horror called Natty Knox.
Okay, no, I've not heard of that one.
Which I have seen, strangely, which was 2023. It's I gave it a good solid 5 out of 10. And Bill Moseley was in it, and Danielle Harris was in it as well.
Oh, okay.
Robert Englund as too. It's quite a few famous names in it. It didn't quite. It was like one of these. Do you hear about this spooky thing in our town? It's actually this story everyone tells. It's actually real, kind of thing.
Oh right. Oh, I'll have to check that one out.
One of those.
Oh, okay.
So that's it really. I mean, I know he's produced a few bits and pieces, but as a director, a lot of TV stuff, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Arrow and things like that, the odd episode here or there. But this, that he literally just returned to horror last year.
Yeah, I mean, fans really love this movie. Like, I mean, there's 13 in total, I think, throughout the whole franchise, including remakes and whatnot. But I mean, in my own personal opinion, I think they gradually get worse throughout the franchise because they milked everything they could from it until reviving it again with the new trilogy. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I do understand why people like this one because it is a traditional 80s slasher flick. Like, it may not be the best out of all of them, but it's definitely not the worst.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of competition for the worst, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
More than any other franchise, would you say?
Yeah.
Or what about? So a lot of people say that. I heard somebody say the other day in a newspaper that Nightmare on Elm Street is the most consistent.
Yeah, I could go along with that.
And Halloween is the least consistent.
Yeah.
But then some people might argue with, depending on how they feel about Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell and Freddy versus Jason, they might argue that, but I don't know.
The thing is with the Halloween franchise, it jumps around storylines. Like, it'll get a few in, and they'll be like, okay, forget the last few, disregard them. We'll jump forward 10 years, and then this will be that, and then they do that quite a lot. So yeah, I get it in that sense. It is a bit confusing. And especially with the third one as well. I mean, this is number 4, the movie that follows up your favourite one out of the whole franchise.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, they fucked it up.
Yeah. So, like, Michael's back now. Oh, what do you feel? Are you happy that they went back to Michael, or would you have liked to have seen a Season of the Witch sequel that was the 4th Halloween?
I think I would have liked them to have followed what John Carpenter was excited about, which seemed to be that each film was going to be completely different.
Yeah.
So he didn't necessarily have to follow up Season of the Witch, but it would have been pretty cool to maybe like have something in the Halloween universe that was completely different again. Now that gives him the opportunity to come up with a new, something to rival Halloween and rival Michael Myers, rather than just going back to the well, which I know he doesn't like doing.
Yeah, I always forget what John Carpenter's vision was. I know he wanted to make 3 separate standalone Halloween type movies, didn't he? Like one of them being a slasher. He never wanted to do Halloween 2 because he just wanted Michael just as a one-off. And then he did Season of the Witch. What was the other one? It was like 3 separate kind of pathways.
It was my understanding that every one was going to be different to the next, and maybe it wouldn't necessarily be Tommy Lee Wallace. It'd be like another one of their crew, come in with a very different idea. Well, maybe you know a bit more about it and the different ones where they were going to go with it. I've seen some alternative versions that different people have come up with, but I think, to be honest, once Season of the Witch failed, I think John Carpenter just checked out, if I'm honest.
Yeah. How involved was he throughout the whole franchise?
So not very much. I think he makes a lot of jokes about just cashing the check or doing the music or that kind of thing. I think there was just so many fingers in the pie from 4 onwards that he's just kind of let him go with it. And yes, he's come back and done a bit and brought some music to it, and they've maybe used some of his ideas or he's produced, but ultimately it's not really been anything that he's even overseen since the 3rd one. And it's definitely not been anything where they just follow his lead to the letter since then. But I think in a certain way he's come to terms with that and quite likes the cash.
Yeah, I read that when they watched this back, like when they watched the rough edit of this back, they thought it was too soft. So they then went back for a whole day of filming just to add a load more kind of like bloody scenes, which I find quite funny, because when you think about it, like the first movie, the original Halloween, 78, that one really didn't have any blood in it whatsoever. And then each movie after, like going forward, they just try and add more and more and more. It's trying to prove itself and keep up, with the viewer's interest. The viewers want blood, so give them more blood. Yeah,
it's like trying to, because they felt that they didn't serve the audience in the 3rd one, they almost go to the point where they're trying to, not second guess, but like pander to the point where there's so many things. Like if 10 people said one thing, another 10 people said another, they'd try and do both.
Yeah. And like even the title of this movie, The Return of Michael Myers.
Yeah, promise he's back. Promise he's not just on TV.
Everyone in the 3rd one, when the 3rd one came out, was like, oh, there's no Michael. Where's Michael? So they made sure the 4th one was called The Return of Michael Myers. He is back. He's here. Please come see this movie. Yeah. And Danielle Harris, I think this was her debut film.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I think she's brilliant in it.
Oh, yeah.
For a little kid, one of the best kid actors I've seen. I was just reading Al Pacino's autobiography or listening to a bit of it, and he has these like 5 rules for engaging with a character, and I was like, well, if Danielle Harris has done those, like she really is. Like I think it's maybe a bit easier when you're a little kid as well, but she's really engaged with that character. I mean, it's the most if you don't like screaming, it might not be the film for you. She screams a lot.
Yeah.
But they could have gone down that route so much more with her. It's again, like a few of these things, missed opportunities. Like later on when they have like a different Jamie, I was like, that's such a shame, because she was so good.
Yeah, because I think
it would have been great for her to follow that character longer.
Absolutely, because like she was 10 years old, I think, when she was in this one, and she was great, and she's become kind of like a fan favorite. And I forget how many, because I know she's in the one following up to this, and then it might have jumped forward where they then used a different character in the next one. But yeah, and then she came back and starred in the Rob Zombie one.
Yeah,
but what is she in 3 films? Obviously, this one, and I think the next one is The Revenge. Is it The Revenge?
Yeah, this is where I get confused with them all. But yeah, she's in that one, and then she's not in the other one after that.
Yeah, because it probably jumps forward quite a bit, so they went with a different actor. Yeah, which is a shame.
I think they wanted a little bit more of a teen dream kind of character, you know.
Yeah. Something that really pops to mind whenever this film comes up. I always think about the mask in this film. Like, if you can see my Trick or Treat studio mask here, this is actually from the 4th one, The Return of Michael Myers. But obviously, he doesn't look like this in the film. This is a mask for the poster. So there's I counted 4 different masks in this film. Like, you've got the mask that's used for the poster, which is literally just a straight picture of the original mask. Then you got the main mask that's used throughout, and then there's a scene in the costume shop where Michael, gets his mask, and if you look closely, that one's got really, really small eye holes. And then later
so they go bump into things.
Yeah, and then later in the film, I think it's like a production error, but there was a scene where he's wearing a pink mask with blonde hair.
Yes, that's the funny one.
Yeah.
That's the funniest one, I think.
Yeah,
I love that one. If I was going to buy one, that'd be the one I'd buy.
That one. I think as well, the little figures you can get, the NECA figures, they have that head as an extra, so you can put that one on.
That is amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but they didn't actually mean to do that. From what I've read, apparently that was a production error.
Right. Because, they're all over the shop with the masks over the course of the thing. I mean, if you want to buy... It's a bit like... I've got a friend who collects... he lives in Holland, and he collects Rambo knives.
Okay.
And obviously, the more Rambo films there are, the more different knives they are, the bigger they get, the more... It's like that with masks from Halloween. If you wanted to collect all of them, it'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it? You'd have to have a whole room of masks.
Well, yeah. I mean, literally every film, I think, was a different mask. And then this one is literally 4 different ones in the same film. But,
yeah.
I mean, I think I said about this on the second one, Halloween 2, where I was like, oh, the mask is so different. But then looking into it, it is actually the original mask. It's just the guy that played him had a much wider head, so it looked really different.
Yeah. It makes sense, I suppose, if we think about it. Yeah, head shape does come into it. Yeah. You don't want to be squeezing someone's big head into a little. I'm proudly, I think we talked about this before, Ted Danson episode. He's our king. People who have big heads like me. Ted Danson is the king. Imagine if he was wearing a Michael Myers mask. Yeah. It'd be ridiculous. He'd have to have double size.
Speaking of people that played Michael, I've got down here that, in the credits, it's got 2 people. It's got Tom Morga and George P. Wilmer. I'm not quite sure why they.
No, well, Tom Morga is known. I know somebody who knows Tom Morga. I interviewed a stunt performer called Leslie Hoffman, who's done. She's in Nightmare on Elm Street. She's the hall guard, and she's also in Naked Gun and a few other things. But she used to do all the stunts in Star Trek, and he was the stunt coordinator on Star Trek, Voyager, and I think Deep Space Nine. So Tom Morga is a fighting expert.
Right.
He's a weapons expert and a fighting expert. And I know. So I think possibly my suggestion is that he is the one that was used for the fighting, rather than the sort of acting. That would be my assumption.
I think his name. Well, actually, both of their names come up quite a lot. But hasn't he done a lot of stunt work in other films like Friday the 13th?
Yes,
He played Jason.
Yeah. He's a good one on the convention scene. I'm pretty sure he's been to For the Love of Horror and a few others, because he covers a lot of stuff. In fact, I know he was at one of them because I was interviewing somebody and the microphone came on the stage and it was so loud they were talking to Tom Morga that I couldn't hear what person I was interviewing was saying, and I lost the whole interview.
Yeah. Oh no.
So thanks, Tom Morga. But no, he's definitely big in the horror scene for playing some pretty iconic characters.
Yeah. And good old Donald Pleasence, he's back, reviving his character of
going
Dr.
full
Loomis.
batshit crazy.
Yeah. What does he say in the second one? I shot him 6 times.
Yeah, 6 times.
6 times.
And when he runs up the stairs at the end, that is full scenery chewing. I don't want to spoil it, but I mean, a man running upstairs is not a spoiler, is it?
No.
But yeah,
dear.
He's pretty wild. I mean, I think he was drinking a bit at this point, so that might explain it. I don't know. I don't want to cast aspersions, but he was really going for it.
Yep. Right. Shall we jump into the plot?
Why not? Let's try and work it out.
I'll hit that spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning.
Right. So this movie is set 10 years after Halloween 2, and although Michael Myers had his eyes poked out, he was shot, he was stabbed, he was burnt alive, he somehow survived. And he's back in like a asylum, would you call it? And ready for transfer.
Yeah, he's ready. He's on the move.
Yeah.
Can't they just leave him somewhere? That would make it a lot easier in these films.
I know, well, they're always moving him around.
Yeah, it's just asking for trouble.
They know what he's like in cars.
Yeah. It's like they're not just going to put like a little seatbelt on him, give him like a little drink, put an iPad there for him, and then he escapes. And it's like, oh, what a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember if this scene was in it. I found it online, but they added an extra scene, and you'll probably recognise it. The scene where Loomis is being tended to by paramedics. It's supposed to be set at the end of the second one, and the firefighters come in to put out the fire, and Loomis screams, "Let him burn!" So that concept was then used again in Halloween Kills. If you remember, it's in the trailer. It's quite a big bit, like, where they go past, and Laurie's screaming that. She goes, "Let him burn!" Yeah,
and of course, in the modern ones, like every modern horror film, there has to be like podcasters. There's podcasters in the modern ones, like you know, they're usually mixed up in the escape. In this one, there's no podcasters, he just escapes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, much like the original, they transfer Michael somewhere, and of course he does what he does best. He kills the drivers and goes home to Haddonfield. And classic Loomis, he's always one step behind the whole way.
Classic Loomis.
Classic Loomis. And then we're introduced to Jamie Lloyd. She's Laurie Strode's daughter, and I think they say that Laurie supposedly died in a car crash about a year ago.
They were like, Jamie Lee Curtis didn't want to come back, so she's dead now.
Yeah, so she's got
done with this shit.
She's got some foster parents. They have a daughter too called Rachel, who babysits her and takes her trick-or-treating. But before that, they go to a costume shop, and Mikey is there picking up a fresh new mask.
That's a good one as well. That sort of costume shop scene, I think.
Yeah.
The other thing that's quite funny is like they're not particularly good at reassuring Jamie. They're all like, "We know you're not our real child, and we know we love the other girl more than you." Like, fucking hell.
Yeah. And
give her a break.
Those kids in the school as well. Oh my God. Talk about bullying. Like those kids that are making fun of her. She's like, "Oh, your mum is dead." He's like, "Your uncle's a killer."
Yeah, and it's like, kids can be so cruel.
Yeah, kids are mean.
Motherfuckers.
But yeah, another instance of Michael having a different mask. But yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of like allows it in that bit because you actually see him get a new mask off the shelf. He'll be like, oh, that's why it's different. Not because they couldn't get the original one back. He chose to get a different one.
He was like, I like this one, but do you have it in a bigger size?
Do you have it in blonde?
Yeah, I'm looking for something a bit different. I'm trying to just change my look slightly. I don't want to look stupid. So, what do you suggest? What, highlights? Yeah. Oh, I love it. Frosted tips.
Yeah.
Nice.
And also, I'm busting out the facts here, but the scene where we learn about Laurie is where Jamie is like going through a load of pictures of her. Like she's got a little box stashed full of like pictures and memories of her mum, Laurie Strode. And apparently all those pictures, or at least one or two, is stills from the original Halloween that they used in that. Pictures of Laurie leaving her house to go to Tommy's house and stuff like that. They've taken that from the original, which is quite interesting. Little Easter egg.
Yeah, that's again, you saw about trivia. There's probably more trivia for these films than there are for any other films in history because there's so many different alternative things they thought of doing and didn't do, and people who had things to say. It's like when I looked at Halloween 666, the script, pretty much none of that made it onto the screen.
So Loomis finally shows up and he warns the sheriff that Michael's back in town. So the locals, they turn into like an angry mob. They grab their shotguns and they accidentally kill a teenager who they thought was Michael. Oops.
No, never mind. It's all right.
Never mind.
It's fine. We've got loads of teenagers.
And then
sounds full of them.
Loomis finds the girls and then he takes them back to the sheriff's house for safety. But it's not safe enough as Michael gets in and kills a bunch of people. I like how like Loomis and the sheriff and like a load of people were there and be like, oh, let's go here because it'll be so safe. We're all staying here. And then they just leave. And as soon as they leave, Michael comes in.
Yeah.
You'll be safe, don't worry. I'm just popping out for a bit.
This cast of kids isn't as like kind of interesting. Like I don't feel like we're invested in them as much.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, there's a bit where they get the kit off and start romping around, which feels quite jarring, I think, with Jamie being there as well.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially like this is about a little kid, and then it's like cut to two teenagers having it off in
Yeah, and it's funny as well when they were filming that scene where Jamie's running around in the streets and she's knocking on doors for help. Apparently someone like legit called the police and they had to come and investigate it.
Fair enough. Good person doing that. Too many people just go, oh, it's fine, fuck it. Like, just ignore it. Like, she could have been in serious danger.
Well, it just proves what a good little actress she was.
Exactly. Yeah, who's like, help, I'm really in danger. They're like, I don't believe her. Like, if they got the teenage girl from the other film, was it JC Brandy or whatever she's called? They'd be like, nah, she's fine. She's just acting.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a bit of a cat and mouse between Michael and Jamie, but the cops and the locals, they blast him away with their shotguns, and I think he falls down like an old abandoned mine or something.
Evil dies tonight.
Yeah. Well,
or will die tonight in many, many years.
Maybe he will.
Evil won't die tonight. It's not as good a catchphrase.
Yeah. And just when you think it's all over, back at the house, like screams are heard upstairs, where we see Jamie in a clown costume holding a pair of bloody scissors.
Bloody scissors.
Bloody scissors.
Oh, don't run with them.
Yeah, keeping the family business alive.
Blimey, God, what? No! And really overacts for about half an hour. And they're like, just somebody please say cut.
Bloody.
Chewing the stairs, throwing himself up and down the stairs. Like, he's giving it full full Donald Pleasence.
What did you make of that ending? It's really
I like
out
it.
there.
I like it.
Different.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Silly.
So is it supposed to, like, I don't know, kind of run in the family? Like it's now gone down into...
Yeah, that's how I read
Jamie?
it, and that's what I think would make it the next one really cool if she was just like psycho.
Yeah.
Even if we didn't see Michael Myers again, and Jamie was just like little Chucky style.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see where that went if the fifth film was her as mini, I don't know, Mini Myers.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But then, I think the same thing what happened to Halloween 3 would then happen to that one. Oh, bring Michael back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. As soon as Michael's back, everyone starts going, oh, where's Michael Myers? Oh, I'm going to cry. Oh, I'm a big, tough man, and, like, I'm going to cry if Michael Myers is not on the screen.
And then they'll do Halloween 7. It was like the return of Michael Myers again. Strikes back.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's funny, really, isn't it? Because people are like, snowflakes, complaining about this, but take Michael Myers out of a film, all those people who say that they get really angry.
Oh, right. So where would you rate this on a 1 to 10 scale?
Oh, I thought you were going to say with the others.
Well,
probably right in the middle. Let me see. Now, I've been back and forth on this. I've watched it maybe as much as any of the other Halloweens. I think in a way, I might have watched it more than the first one.
Yeah.
So let's see. What's Matthew given this in the past? So I'm just having a quick look because I've watched it. Oh, okay. So last time I watched this, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
And a little heart next to it because I liked it.
Ooh.
So I guess that translates to 6. So I think that's probably about right. So 6.
Okay.
If my calculations are correct.
Yeah, 6 out of 10.
Maybe even a 6.5 because it feels a bit harsh. But yeah, 6. I'm sticking with 6.
So I really struggled deciding on a score for this one. Like, overall, I really liked the movie and the characters. They were all really great.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people where I really like this. I really like this film, like in the franchise, but I can't explain why.
Because you normally like things to like make a bit more sense than I do.
Yeah.
Whereas in Halloween, you're not going to get that too much.
Yeah. I think they did a good job. They did the best they could with trying to continue it after the second one, because that one, it was pretty much a wrap on old Mikey and Loomis, but they found a way to bring it back without it being too nonsensical.
Yeah. That's what they have to do, isn't it? That's the issue. They have to undo all the things from previous films before they can start telling their own story.
Yeah.
So, it's hard.
There were a few moments where the scenes kind of dragged on too long, I think. More towards the end, it was starting to drag a little bit. I was losing interest. But, yeah, I mean, the ending was interesting. It kind of, like, bring it back. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go with what I initially put down, and that would be a solid 7 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. I was close to that. Like, I was all over, between 6 and 7, and I possibly could have given it a higher or lower, but I'm in a bad mood, so I went lower.
I'm just looking back at our ratings to see what we've given the other 3. So,
well, I'm sure I gave the other one 10. I gave Halloween 3 10 or something, did I? Or 9.
So Halloween, I gave it a 9. You gave it an 8. Halloween 2, I gave it a 7.5, and you gave it a 7. Halloween 3, I gave it a 5, and you gave it a 9.
Love it. I love it.
Okay, so yeah, this one I've gave it a 7, you gave it a 6.
Fair enough.
You're always, well, apart from the third one, but you've always been one below.
There's always an anomaly.
Yeah. Okay, right. You know what time it is now?
It's easy quiz time.
It's game time.
I want to play a game.
Right. So this game is a straight up Halloween franchise game. So yeah, I'll just ask you a load of questions about the whole franchise. Everything
Well, that's
to
good.
do
It's
with
only
Halloween.
a couple of movies.
First up, what is the name of the fictional town in Halloween?
Haddonfield. Yay!
Off to a good start
Woo! 100% record.
so far. Including remakes, how many movies is Michael in?
Oh, we're counting 3. All of them.
Yeah, how many is that?
I don't know. Did you say 12?
I can't tell you.
I can't remember. You said earlier on. I've forgotten. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go through it all in my head now. 12? Yeah, 12.
Oh,
Oh, I meant 13.
someone wasn't paying attention.
Why is it?
13.
Oh man, I was gonna say 13. It's unlucky, you see.
Okay, so how many people across the whole franchise has Michael killed?
Oh,
I'll give it like a plus and minus of 10 people.
like 3. No.
3?
No, I'm just joking. I don't know. I don't know.
It's probably more than you'd think.
62.
Oh. It's a hell of a lot more than that. Apparently, it's 155.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, I would
Even
imagine...
when he's an old dude.
Yeah, I'd imagine like the later ones kind of like get a load in there. Like Halloween Kills, I'm pretty sure was a load of people, maybe? I don't know.
He's just got them lined up.
Yeah.
Slashing through them all.
In the opening scene of Halloween, Michael kills his older sister. What is his sister's name?
Myers. Millie Myers. Kim Myers. Trixie. Stephanie. These are all women's names.
They are all women's names, yeah.
Claire. No. Karen. Let's go with Karen.
Oh, there's so many people screaming at you right now.
Go on. Dorothy.
Well, you got to have the boo.
Who was it?
It is, in fact, Judith Myers.
Oh, Judith. Yeah, Judith. Yeah, I remember that now.
How many movies into the franchise is The Curse of Michael Myers?
How many movies into the franchise? Curse of Michael? 6. That was good. I was impressed with myself for that.
Oh, I forgot I actually put this as a question. Yeah, I might have given you the answer. Anyway, I made these questions a while ago, so forgive me.
Well, I haven't actually.
You've not been listening to anything I've been saying.
I've not been listening, so it's fine.
Which Halloween movie has the highest kill count?
Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to that.
Yeah, 28.
I would have guessed that anyway.
Yeah, 28 kills apparently in Halloween Kills. Last one. How many actors have played an adult Michael Myers?
Jeez. 23. No, that's too many.
9 people.
Oh, it's a bit too much. I didn't want to go too low. I was thinking of all the stand-ins and like Tommy Lee Wallace, and then I thought, oh, maybe John Carpenter did it, and like not Billy Warlock, that's his dad, his son, Dick Warlock, Tom Morga, the other guy we mentioned earlier on.
Yeah, Wilmer P. Wilbur, George
Wilmer
P.
from the
Wilbur.
Flintstones. Loads of people have played him. So.
Yeah, I think you're about half. I think maybe.
It's all right. That's a good score. There's a lot to go off with this kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's such a big franchise. If it was just about Halloween 3, I'd do okay.
I'm gonna probably have a hard time doing the quiz for the next episode though, because I normally try and theme it around the episode that it is, and the next episode we're gonna do, you're gonna be happy with this, is Basket Case.
Hey. Awesome. That's a cool film. I literally just watched it last week.
Oh really?
Yeah. I watched it the day before Halloween.
I didn't realise.
From when we're recording.
I took this VHS to For the Love of Horror. It's The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, cool.
That one.
Nice.
So Michael Berryman signed that. I don't know if you can see that. I know people can't see it. Listening.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But on the back, it's got all of these and basket cases on there. Look.
Oh, Belial. Yeah, there he is, my little special little guy.
There they are.
I've wanted you to watch Basket Case for ages. Now a warning, Basket Case 1 is wildly different to 2 and 3.
Oh, okay. I watched the first one. I've seen the first one.
Oh, cool.
I watched it not that long ago. Maybe like month before last, I think I watched that one.
Oh, cool.
But I haven't seen 2 or 3. I've just seen like the trailers for it.
I mean, for my money, Frank Henlos has never made a bad movie. So
okay.
that's where I stand with him. He's a legend.
Yeah.
Frank, if you're listening, I've emailed you. I'd like to interview you. Yeah. You haven't emailed back.
I will say, I mean, I will talk about it in depth on the next episode, but I did really enjoy it. I really liked it. I think
you are correct.
I think that was a film that you weren't sure if I would like or not.
Yeah, I mean, I thought possibly you think it was a bit silly. But I think maybe in retrospect, possibly you think 2 and 3 are a bit silly.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing next episode. So, yeah, unless you got anything else you want to add, we can wrap up.
Yeah, only one thing. I've got a over on my channel, which is Pugwall316 channel. I went on a tour around the Wicker Man set recently, and on the not a tour, I literally tried to find all the different parts of where the Wicker Man was filming locations. So from the 10th of November, it goes live on my channel, and if people want to watch it, that'd be really cool.
Ooh, nice, interesting. That again, that's a film I haven't watched.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
we should do that in the future at some point.
Yeah, definitely. I like doing films that I haven't seen before, like older films that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, this is one from 1973, and very widely regarded as probably by most people anyway, the best British horror film ever made.
Yeah, because has that got Christopher Lee?
Yeah, Christopher Lee, Edward Woodward.
What was the woman? The blonde woman.
Britt Eklund.
Britt Eklund. Yeah. I saw her at HorrorCon last year. Very nice lady.
Oh, cool. Oh, I would have loved to have met her. She wasn't naked and banging on the walls, was she? Because she does that in the Wicker Man. You have to tell her to stop.
No, she went.
Oh, that's good. That's good. She got that out of her system in the 70s.
Yeah, she probably looks a lot different now to what she did in that film.
Well, don't we all? Well, I wasn't in that film, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. All right, cool. That's awesome. So yeah, I'll see us out. If you've liked today's episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. That's where you can vote on the monthly poll picks for what we cover. So yeah, that's a wrap for today. So thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you in the basket.
Killer, Mommy. Killer.
We all go a little mad sometimes.